What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. It is day 18 of trusting God's plan in the wait, and we're still developing and uncovering Joseph's story as he has just told his family who he is and brought them to Egypt. So let's find out what's happening next in Joseph's story as we continue on with day 18. If you found this video through Mastering a Man, make sure you guys come over to Mastering the Faith, where I will be posting all my future faith and mindset content going forward, and we'd love to have you over there as we continue to build a new journey over there on Mastering the Faith, and we'd love to see you there. So without further ado, let's get into day 18. Trusting God's plan in the wait. Day 18, a promise fulfilled. The wait is finally over for Joseph. The day he has been dreaming of and his heart's desire are finally being met. Sure, Joseph has become the second most powerful person in Egypt. He's rich beyond measure, and God has reconciled and restored his life with his brothers, but everything pale in comparison to being reunited with his father. It's been almost 20 years since he last saw him. Believing Joseph is alive, Jacob and his entire extended family pack up everything and move to Egypt. Pharaoh's moving service rolls out the red carpet for the carts of Egypt. Pharaoh sets aside an area in Egypt that happens to be the most fertile of all the land, called Goshen, to be their new home. Let it sink in what it must have felt like when Joseph rolled up in his chariot to see his father. What would he look like? Would he remember him? Who were all the other people with him? His mind must have been racing. It says as soon as Joseph appeared before him, he threw his arms around his father and wept for a long time. That must have been the longest hug in history. Joseph was making up for a lifetime of lost hugs. His wait was finally over. What a moment of praise. His wait, and of all the pain that went into it, had a great purpose. God had a plan, and Joseph was receiving the blessings of seeing it from his perspective. Jacob left Canaan as Jacob, but he arrived in Egypt as Israel, the Jewish nation. Joseph didn't just save Egypt from the famine, he saved the nation of Israel as well, and we can still thank him for that today. My friend, one day your wait will be over. Your heart's desire will be met in God's perfect timing. It most likely will not happen the way you expect, and certainly not in the time you expect, but it will happen. It says, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap the harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. All right, y'all, so let's get into the question for today. It says, what does your harvest look like for you? My harvest is bounty. My harvest is fruitfulness. My harvest is community. Those are the things, and those are the seeds that I'm planting right now by making content every day, by praying, by manifesting, by journaling, by putting out content that I think is pleasing to God, and just promoting the community aspect of coming together like we're doing on the Bible app in our group chat, just finding areas for all of us to gather and be like-minded and grow together in Christ. That's my harvest. That is what I will look like for success for me. How can you build a safeguard around you so that you will not give up in the waiting? You have to surround yourself with God. You have to surround yourself with constant reminders, constant alerts of prayer. You have to surround yourself with the presence of God. That's praying every day. That's praying every day, that's reading the Bible, surrounding yourself with the Word, surrounding yourself with praise music, not only just continuing to ask God things, but celebrating those things as if they're already done. It's important for your environment to become God-like so that you can see and hear when God tells you to move and understand those clues that God is going to give you as you embark on this journey. How can Joseph's account encourage you on those days you may become weary? Joseph's account is just about not giving up. It always talks about how God was with Joseph, and you don't really understand it until you read the story in fruition, right, in totality. And you see that in those areas where maybe you and I would have given up, we see that God was always with Joseph and just encouraged him. And it was times where he could have given up, he could have been angry, he could have been weary, but he doesn't. He doesn't waver. He always stands on God. Even when being accused of, sleeping with somebody's wife, he said, how can I do this to my master, right? And just understanding that God is always at the forefront for him. So we have a few Bible verses to get through today, so let's go ahead and start. It starts with Genesis 46, verse 1 on down, and it says, so Jacob set out for Egypt with all his possessions, and when he came to Beersheba, he offered sacrifices to God of his father Isaac. During the night, God spoke to him in a vision. Jacob, Jacob, he called. Here I am, Jacob replied. I am God, the God of your father, the voice said. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for there I will make your family into a great nation. I will go with you down to Egypt, and I will bring you back again. You will die in Egypt, but Joseph will be with you to close your eyes." So Jacob left Beersheba, and his sons took him to Egypt. They carried him and their little ones and their wives in the wagons Pharaoh had provided for them. They also took all their livestock and all the personal belongings they had acquired in the land of Canaan. So Jacob and his entire family went to Egypt, sons and grandsons, daughters and granddaughters, all his descendants. And then the next verse starts at Genesis 46, verse 26. It says, "The total number of Jacob's direct descendants who went down with him to Egypt, not counting his sons' wives, was 66. In addition, Joseph had 2 sons who were born in Egypt. So altogether, there were 70 members of Jacob's family in the land of Egypt. As they neared their destination, Jacob sent Judah ahead to meet Joseph and get directions from the region of Goshen. And when they finally arrived there, Joseph prepared his chariot and traveled to Goshen to meet his father Jacob. When Joseph arrived, he embraced his father and wept, holding him for a long time. Finally, Jacob said to Joseph, 'Now I'm ready to die, since I have seen your face again and I know you are still alive.' And Joseph said to his brothers and his father's entire family, 'I will go to Pharaoh and tell him, my brothers and my father's entire family have come to me from the land of Canaan. These men are shepherds and they raise livestock. They have brought with them their flocks and herds and everything they own.' Then he said, 'When Pharaoh calls for you and asks you about your occupation, you must tell him, we, your servants, have raised stocks all of our lives, as our ancestors have always done. When you tell him this, he will let you live here in the region of Goshen, for the Egyptians despise shepherds.'" So let's not, and then it ends in Galatians 6, verse 9. It says, "So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up." All right, y'all. So that's it for day 18. Hope you guys enjoyed not only the devotion, but the verses that accompanied it. And I'm glad that you made it this far to the video. If you made it this far to the video, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to Master in the Faith as we embark on a new journey of just building a community that's for God, creating content that's centered around faith and our mindset as we move forward each and every day. And I appreciate you for being here, and I will see you tomorrow in day 19. Keep mastering. We're almost done with this, and I'm excited to see where we get. Keep mastering. Let's go.